Please come to order. Good morning. Welcome to the Commissioners of St. Mary's County meeting this date, Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. I am Randy Guy, President of Commissioners of St. Mary's County. I'd like to introduce the other commissioners. Sitting to my right, representing the 1st Commissioner District, which includes Ridge, Piney Point, St. George Island, Mr. Eric Colvin.
Good morning.
Representing the 2nd Commissioner District, which includes Leonardtown and Hollywood, Mr. Mike Hewitt.
Good morning.
Sitting to my left, representing the 3rd Commissioner District, which includes Charlotte Hall, 7th District, Golden Beach, and Mechanicsville, Mr. John O'Connor.
Good morning.
Representing the 4th Commissioner District, which includes Lexington Park, some of California, Great Mills, and some of Hollywood, Mr. Todd Morgan. Dr. Rebecca Bridger, our County Administrator, is sitting at the table to my left.
Good morning.
Elisa Cassis, our Communications Director, is sitting at the table to my right.
Good morning.
Amy Carter, our Video Media Producer, is behind the glass. Please turn your cell phones off or on vibrate. At this time, we'll have the invocation and pledge by Commissioner O'Connor. Please stand.
Heavenly Father, we come to you with so many requests, so many times. And I just want to take this opportunity as we gather to just say thank you for everything. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, Mr. O'Connor. Okay, next we need the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we right away have a legislative update by the Office of County Attorney, Mr. David Wyckoff, our County Attorney.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Morning.
We had crossover, so it must all be downhill from now, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're thinking up there, right? It's something. Yes, crossover was yesterday. The first thing I was going to talk about was the blueprint for Maryland's future, the revisions. You know, this is for the public, the Kerwin Act. It does state, I think, that for fiscal year 23, the state expenditures will be increased to like 4.6 million, but then by fiscal year 26, it increases to about 65. But what it means for us, I believe there's a 25-page fiscal note that states that local expenditures to meet the per pupil MOE requirements, fiscal 2022 estimates for St. Mary's, the pre-COVID estimate was 110.8 million. The current law would be 108.4 million, and under the bill would be 109.5 is what they're estimating. So again,
We're anywhere between 108 and 110 million? Is that what you said?
well, no, the pre-COVID-19 estimate was 110. What the current law is 108, and they're saying what it is under the bill is 109.
Sounds pretty close.
Yeah, so about 109.5 is what they're saying.
Mr. Weisskopf, could you grab the mic a little
Oh,
closer?
I'm very sorry.
Thank you, sir.
So, again, we're just keeping, the Kerwin bill was, the veto was overrode, and so what's happening now is they're scrambling to find the money, so they're doing, amendments to sort of kick the can down the road for a year or two, as you guys would say, right?
Now, we've been insulated for the first couple of years from Kerwin because of our funding that we've done.
I believe so. It really strikes the larger counties like Montgomery and Prince George's, if I recall correctly, but
When does it strike the smaller counties like St. Mary's?
I think towards the end, is that correct? 2026?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years out.
Yeah.
Plenty of years.
What'd you say?
Another term.
Another term. There you go.
3 years or so?
I'll do the math for you. Another term.
So about 3 to 4 years.
We're pretty close to where we should be right now, believe it or not. But
We're not off by much.
far off.
If the problem is going to be, as Mr. Weisskopf just pointed out, that the onus of burden will fall on Prince George's, Baltimore City, and Montgomery County. And I don't see any way on God's green earth that they're going to absorb that without penalizing everybody along the way.
Some negotiation?
Yeah.
Right. So that's that one. The next is, as you know, House Bill 655 is in the Senate now. The hearing got continued to 1 o'clock today. President Guy is signed up to speak, and hopefully that will take place this afternoon.
And I hope to set it up and speak right here when the time comes.
Certainly.
See what happens.
Now, I've heard conflicting, is Senator Ellis supporting this or not supporting this? Do we know?
I guess we'll find out today.
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
I guess I had heard he wasn't, then he was, then he
Yeah, that's
wasn't.
what I've heard.
I know the Charles County Commissioners did not support the
Letter.
Tri-county bill,
that
yeah.
Calvert and St. Mary's supported, so
Who's
They
the
did
senator
vote-
that's taking it through the Senate, though?
I'm not sure at this time who
Okay,
who
no
the
problem.
senator is. I don't know.
But the Charles County Commissioners did vote 4-1 against the bill originally.
Okay.
They did not support the letter due to the inclusion of the Board of Ed requirement.
Right.
Oh, is that right?
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a sort of a wishy-washy, we don't support the bill, but we won't support the letter because of the Board of Education inclusion. Amendment, I should say, I apologize.
Okay. And next was House Bill 862, which was the Metcom bill. And my understanding is the amendment was done, and I spoke with Mr. Erickson, who said the amendment looked great. So that's
And
just
it moved forward.
trucking along as well, right? And that takes me to memo number 2. As you said, lots had happened, so we'll discuss that. The House Bill 527, which was the St. Mary's County Human Relations Commission, equal treatment, that passed and is now moving to the Senate. It had a little amendment to it, which is not really of any consequence, just says that we have to post the different classes on the website somewhere. So, Department of Transportation, the grant anticipation revenue vehicle bonds and calculation of debt limit. That was for our part is talking about upgrading the Southern Maryland corridor, right, which is the Harry Nice Bridge, the Governor Thomas Johnson Bridge, and routes 2, 4, 5, 228, and 301. So that is passed the House, and the hearing is tomorrow at 1:30 in appropriations. And I believe that they were, Senator Bailey had asked for a letter of support.
He did. I will move to support SB 259, Department of Transportation, grant anticipation revenue vehicle bonds, calculation of debt limit, and to approve and authorize Commissioner President Guy to sign a letter of support to the House Appropriations Committee with email copies to the Speaker of the House and President of the Senate.
Second.
I have a first and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Commissioners. And on the page 2 of memo number 2, we'll discuss the local bills. As I said, the Metcom bill passed the House, the public facilities bonds passed the House, and it also passed, the Senate version passed the Senate. The building excise tax passed the House, and the hearing in the Senate is the 25th. As I discussed, the Human Relations Commission language update passed the House with an amendment. The local gaming provisions passed the House. It's in the Senate with no hearing date yet. The on-site consumption permit fees passed the House. The alcohol beverage license, the waiver of the annual fees has passed the House. The St. Mary's County local official salaries has passed the House, no hearing date yet in the Senate. And 2 bills that did not move forward and did not cross over would be the one the sheriff requested with the Law Enforcement Hearing Board with civilian members, and House Bill 863 regarding golf carts.
So golf carts, H863 is finished then? Not going to happen?
Correct.
That's my understanding, since it didn't. And I don't think there was anything, wrong with the bill. It's just, as I spoke at the last update, they said, because of COVID and so much going on, that they just weren't going to be able to get to all the bills. So my guess is they did a triage of importance.
Someone should really take a look at sometime why we have to go to Annapolis to get permission to do something like this in our own county. But
The Commissioner form of government.
Well, that's
Wonderful.
That's the
Wonderful.
commissioner form of government versus home rule or charter, right?
It may be worthy of a discussion in the future.
Certainly. Are there any questions, anything I should be looking at, or any comments regarding what you have heard up at your MACO conferences, or?
Mako's been definitely, well, I think the staff of Mako's up to their ears in testimony as far as our committees we're on hold because everything's come through.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Commissioners.
I do have just one
Oh,
question.
certainly.
So the way the bill is written, 655, it excludes charter governments, correct?
That's my understanding. This only applies to Commissioner counties, yes.
Okay, all right. So, but it wouldn't be retroactive? So
Retroactive.
if you had a commissioner form of government, and then the people chose to switch to charter form, it
Oh,
would no longer
no,
be
sir, it wouldn't be
applicable?
retroactive, no. 'cause
Okay.
It would be a different form of government.
Okay, all right. So I guess my point is that the people still have a voice.
Oh, certainly.
One way or another to go ahead and exercise their opinions over what this bill and how it's impacted the county.
Certainly.
All right, thank you.
Oh, and we did send to County Administrator Bridget a article from Maryland Matters regarding the police bills, and it was a good I don't know if you passed it on or
Yeah.
not.
It
was yesterday.
But it was a very good synopsis. You've probably already seen it as well, but just to
Yeah.
let you know, or the public know, it was a very good synopsis on the difference between was the House Bill 670 and all the different Senate bills, and how they had some nice graphs for you if anybody's interested in that.
Yeah.
So.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, looks like we move right into county administrator time. Dr. Bridget.
Thank you, Commissioner President Guy. First, we'll start with draft agendas for March 30th and then move to April 13th. Just a reminder, there's no meeting scheduled of the commissioners on April 6th. So on March 30th, you have two proclamations. First is April for Flood Awareness Month and a proclamation for Public Health Week. Then you have the St. Mary's County Board of Health. Then you have the Department of Economic Development with a request for public hearing, a proposed commercial property tax credit. Then the Department of Finance with the Board of Education non-recurring costs approval, and the Department of Finance with your FY 2022 recommended budget. Also, your weekly update from the Office on the County Attorney for legislative updates. Then on April 13th, you have four proclamations: National Animal Control Week, National Public Safety Telecom Week, Week of the Young Child, and National Healthcare Decision Day. This is St. Mary's County Board of Health scheduled. Also tentatively scheduled from the Department of Land Use and Growth Management is the decision for the proposed amendment to the official zoning maps of St. Mary's County to delete the existing 1,000-foot critical area boundary line and replace with the new critical area boundary line from the statewide base map as required by House Bill 1253. Also, the Office of the County Attorney has a request for public hearing that morning for proposed ethics ordinance changes, and the Office of the County Attorney also has legislative updates that morning. Also, you have a closed session that morning for personnel issues. For this morning's county administrator items is 3B, Department of Recreation and Parks with the Snow Hill Park Farm lease. Arthur Shepard, Director, presenting this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Snow Hill farm lease. You're probably mostly aware that 2017 went into a 3-year lease with the Rayleigh family, and it was extended 1 year. So after 4 years, we're looking to renew that lease and your approval to sign that lease. And what's different here is in the past, that nominal fee for leasing that property for agriculture and farming, now there's a $50 per acre fee. The terms of the agreement are the exact same, where the staff is pleased with the fact of they don't encroach on activity while there. We are saving costs from having to bush hog the area that they farm, and then plus we have attention inside of the park while they're there and to us. And then I also spoke with the Extension Service staff, got their data regarding the average cost for farmland, and this meets within there, and from everything I'm hearing there, is this is nothing but fair for both parties at this cost for this rate to lease farmland there. It's not contiguous land, it's spotty altogether, but not contiguous, and then it also deals with some of that sludge and pH, so they set a very good price for the county to receive from a farmer for that land.
Now, this was a 3-year lease? And
Yes, and then but we, you could extend it, which we did, but then I said we wanted to get a new one because now there's money behind it. it's not the same terms. So that's why I'm coming to the commissioners.
I will say, as a gentleman farmer from Ohio, the lease price here is a really sweet, sweet deal for the farmer, Mr. Raley, who's going to farm this property. Really sweet.
That it is. That it is.
I'll
That's
move-
the University of Maryland's chart here
Recommendation.
that we got.
Yes.
Yeah.
I move to approve the lease agreement between the Commissioners of St. Mary's County, Jeffrey Raley Sr. and Jeffrey Raley Jr. for the agricultural use of Snow Hill Park and authorize the Commissioner President to sign all related documents.
Second.
I have a first and second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you, Commissioners. And item 3C is from the Department of Recreation and Parks with a letter of support request. Mr. Shepherd?
Yes, once again, it's a letter of support request authorized by Commissioner President Guy. As you know, St. Clements 100 and DNR have their own independent lease. It's independent from the county. The county has a lease with DNR. The 100 has a lease with DNR. And as DNR is going into renewed an amendment to that lease, they sought us out to ask about one item there, that provision in that amendment, where that provision says that about a use plan where that the county will, it's a collaborative effort, but the county, the museum division director will be the one that provides, is the point for that activities there. But certainly collaborating, this doesn't have anything to do with their lease otherwise. It's just that the two parties coordinating activities on the island together. And they requested it from me. They called, and then that's when I'm coming to the commissioners to see if you want to be engaged in this letter of support.
And what about the part about St. Mary's County will otherwise control access, use, and fees except for the lighthouse, bell tower, gazebo, cross memorial? That's going to be done by the 100?
Yeah, because that's the area that they generally are managing, as you could say, in their lease. So then that we wouldn't be talking just about being a management conduit to that. It's been to the open overall island, other than those properties or pieces of property, parcels of property.
Any questions, anybody?
So the only thing I would ask is when we send this letter that we CC the 100 on it so that they get a copy of the letter too.
Understood that.
And I think it's important to recognize that as we move forward with this, the commitment that's going to have to come from the county in order to support the financial commitment that's going to have to come from the county to support this endeavor based on the shift from DNR. While it was unanticipated as to where we may be at this point, due to the budget process, I would hope that coordinating with the 100, we see something in the appeal process that can go ahead and support this on behalf of DNR. Not asking for something random, but, get with the 100, get the financials and figure it out. And this way we can make sure that the birthplace of Maryland is appropriately taken care of.
Understand.
Now, that would probably usually come through our nonprofit venue that we set up several years ago I guess it would go through probably.
There's several vehicles for that, I would assume.
Yeah, the museum division would be the conduit based on this letter and the county stepping in. So it would be the museum division, not the nonprofit. The 100 has their own fundraising activities. So anyway, I move to approve and authorize the Commissioner President to sign a letter of support for the amendment to the use and management agreement between the Maryland Department of Natural Resources and the St. Clements 100.
Second.
Have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any disapproval? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
Thank you, Commissioners. And item D is from the Department of Public Works and Transportation with the Airport Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act. Mr. Diedrich and Allison Swint are presenting this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great pleasure to bring this in front of you today because it brings $23,000 to the county. This particular grant is a product of the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act, and it's sent designated to specific airport sponsors to address COVID-19. It's more restrictive than the previous funds, but in the discussion with FAA, they suggested we apply for it because, and gave us some suggestions on how it could be used. So Ms. Swint, how do you think, what will be the best use of these funds for the airport, to support the airport, but also help with COVID?
At this time, we'd like to use the funds, and we're anticipating to earmark the funds for an upgrade to the ventilation system at the airport to assist in eliminating those germs.
Are you talking about the terminal?
Yes, airport terminal.
Good. At least you're not having to disinfect a runway, right?
Right. Right.
Look at the bright side now.
All right, I move to approve the grant application for the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act to assist airport sponsors to address the COVID-19 public health emergency from the U.S. Department of Transportation and Federal Aviation on behalf of the St. Mary's County Regional Airport in the amount of $23,000 and authorize the Commissioner President to sign all related documents.
Second.
Have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you
Thank
very
you all
much.
very much.
Thank you, Commissioners, and this completes County Administrator time.
Boy,
Breeze through county government.
damn, that was pretty quick.
20 minutes.
Jeez.
Make up for it this afternoon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Technically, we'll be back at 1:30 a.m. according to the agenda.
Well, no, it's going to be PM, I'm afraid. We'll have to change that.
Yeah.
Make a change to
Make
your
a change.
PM. Okay, right, go right into Commissioner's time, and we'll start with Commissioner Hewitt this time.
Oh, goodness, thank you. Well, Lord knows spring has sprung, thank goodness. You know, my wife's got all kinds of chores out there in the yard for me to do, and I'm anxious to get them done. Last night, Dr. Brewster spoke at to the Rotary Club at Lexington Park regarding, you know, what you can do to kind of get your mental health back, your physical health back, and one of the things she talked about is get out in the sun and get some vitamin D. Lord knows we've all spent too much time in the house, and thank God this weather's over with. This afternoon we have our one of our final budget work sessions until we have the public hearing, and then a couple more in May. I still believe that I'm calling this the COVID budget. I still don't believe the actual impacts of COVID-19 on our workforce has really been felt in our revenues. I think what we're seeing is that it's been the money we've lost through economic activity by people not being able to work has been replaced by government stimulus money. 600 extra for staying on unemployment, or 300 extra on top of what you'd normally get for unemployment. It's not an incentive to go back to work. And what I worry about is once these federal and state stimulus funds wear out or are spent and they're not reoccurring, that we're hoping this economic activity comes back. Lord knows, I hope it does. I'm just worried that it's not going to be as fast as we think, and that we'll still have effects of COVID. So I still want to say we need to be cautious. I'm going to be conservative and just trying to stay consistent. Thank you.
Very good. So I want to touch on briefly something that several other commissioners talked about last week. Slow down while you're driving. There's a lot of accidents happening out there. It's dangerous. Be careful. Take your time. There's no rush. You'll get where you need to get eventually. Traffic's not as bad now. People are working from home, so take your time while you're driving and slow down. Watch out for motorcyclists. Watch out for bicyclists. Just be cautious. Be careful. This Thursday, March 25th, is Maryland Day. There's a lot of stuff happening. We celebrate Maryland Day every year. There's going to be a virtual program through St. Clements Island and the museum, so definitely check that out. You can get to it through Facebook. But also, very exciting, historic St. Mary's City is going to be doing some announcements. They found the fort. They've been looking for the fort down there for a long time. You've probably seen there's some Washington Post articles going around that do a really good job explaining what's going on down there. It's really exciting stuff, so definitely check it out. Check out what's happening at historic St. Mary's City. We've seen recently there's a renewed push from our federal representatives to make us a designated historical area, and a heritage area. It's really exciting stuff happening here. And so finally, I want to conclude with a little bit of history since I'm talking about history. Today let me get the date, March 23rd, 1839 was the first time that the abbreviation OK was used in a printed newspaper. Back in the day, back then, intellectual people liked to purposely misspell words, and they misspelled all okay, all correct, and made it okay. They would abbreviate it, and it became in the vernacular. So 1839's when it really took off. When Martin Van Buren was running for re-election, he had groups of thugs that were out trying to intimidate voters, and they were abbreviated the OK Boys because of his initials, Old Kinderhook. So that really helped it to take off too, but the term OK dates back to 1839 today. Thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, John?
And I'm sure the first time in public safety when they used the OK, it turned into Ocean King. So, that's now you hear everybody say I'm Ocean King. So that's one way. I'm glad that the restrictions are finally being lifted. This weekend in the county was amazing. I literally got to see people out everywhere in our parks, enjoying the facilities. Southern Maryland BMX had their opening day, and it was one of those timing things to see how it was going to work with the COVID-19 restrictions. The biggest thing for me out of that was finally being able to see kids out, being kids, doing what they do and what they love. COVID-19 has taken a toll, just not on society, but our kids and their childhoods and growing up and things that they normally do. So totally impressed with that outfit down there and everything that they do. And it was just great to see so many people just having a great time. It was amazing. Brett brings me to our parks. Let me tell you, one of the best parts about this job is going places and seeing the results of the work that goes in. And I want to give big compliments to Art Shepard and his team, because every single park you go to, all you ever get is compliments. I mean, it's turned from having to fix things to now it's just amazing. And people just love the fields, the lighting, the little unique touches that go into every single location. I mean, people just are raving about our parks and the response rate. So I do appreciate that. And keep up the great work, because I'll tell you what, our citizens are noticing it and they're really enjoying it out there. So thank you.
All right, Todd.
Good morning, folks. I want to expand a little bit on what Commissioner Colvin said on St. Mary's City. I've been on that St. Mary's City Foundation and Commission for probably well over 20 years now. And the amount of time we have spent rebuilding the chapel down there, excavating the grave sites, and now we found the fort. Or I shouldn't say we, Travis found the fort with the help of some other people using a radar technology. And they have discovered where the fort is going to be. This has been one of the best kept secrets in St. Mary's County now for over 6 or 7 months. Lieutenant Governor Rutherford was down a couple weeks ago. He got to tour the site. I think there's been a half dozen people have been able to get onto the site to see what's going on. And I go back to the days of Roger Hill and Marty Sullivan. It was a great little show those two put on when we were building the chapel, and how we went and had to get the bricks and how we had to get the oysters and mix the oysters with the stuff to make the original type of mortar that was set in, and how many days it took for the mortar to dry, and having to go to Virginia and find the original bricks to build that chapel. And then I worked with Jeannie Chandler and Pat Jackson on the foundation to help to raise the money for all the projects and things like that, and work with Henry Henry Miller and Silas on their archaeological discoveries. And now we've Gina fought in his breast where we are today. So this is a big thing. And as I said last week, big things are going to be happening down. There's a lot more to go, as Commissioner Colvin said this week on Maryland Day. And that's really, really good. But I will sit there and caution everyone. They have set up cameras live, so no one's going to come down there with a metal detector and say it's their time to start digging in the fields. So please mind the archaeologists, mind the historical significance of what this is, not only for St. Mary's County, but for the state of Maryland and for the United States. Because remember, they settled the original capital in St. Mary's City before they moved it up to Annapolis. So in a joking sort of a way, if you go over to the old State House, there's still stocks there. And if you want to go dig, you can go to the stocks when you're done. So please, I said, appreciate the historical significance, recognize everything good, see what's going to happen in Maryland Day and down there. Congratulations, everyone down there at St. Mary's City on the foundation and the commission for the number of years we've spent to get to this point in time. And with that, happy Maryland Day to everybody.
Thank you, Commissioner Todd. Yeah, I did my little speech for Maryland, of course, a virtual thing from actually down at St. Clements Island and everything. It's going to be, I understand it's a very good presentation, so please get your time to view it on our website and on the 25th, as it'll be shown probably on our public TV and everything. I wish we could do it virtual, not virtual, do it in person, but unfortunately, we've got to do what we got to do here right now. So still, even though COVID has done a lot and is opening up more and more, I'd like to say that it's good to see the kids get out playing a little bit, and I wish the governor would open up our senior centers. I keep pushing that because a lot of seniors had called me and said, hey, what's going on? You know, I've got my shots, I'm vaccinated, why can't I go out there? And I go, well, we got to follow the governor's rule. And he's opening everything else up, but he's still squashing down. And the seniors need to get out too. This is probably their limited amount of recreation or point of contact with anybody. These senior centers make a big difference in a lot of their lives. So I'm hoping soon we'll have them open up. So please be patient. We've already sent letters to the governor asking about this, and we'll see what happens in the future here. Budget process again. I would say after COVID-19, what's it going to look like? We don't know. So I would say we got to be very cautious. Let's not overreach ourselves. Let's let things settle down. Let people like our volunteerism get back in focus here, and I think that we'll find a big difference in about another 6 to 8 months. But right now, I hate to say it, some of us are jumping the guns on what to do and how to create services to our people. I think we're doing a good job as it is, and we have to take and follow the governor's rules and regulations, and eventually we'll all get back to playing ball and whatever's got to be done. So please just have a little more patience and enjoy Maryland Day, March 25th. Remember also, we have a budget work session at 1:30 p.m. today. So tune in and we'll see you then. Meeting adjourned.